friends. Today we are going to talk about filling out our 120 chart. So you should have printed out your chart that looks like this, or if you don't want to print it out, you can just make a chart like this on a piece of paper. It might be difficult to draw out all those boxes, but if you want to do that on a piece of paper, you can do that as well. Now, I'm just going to talk to you about how to fill out the numbers on this chart. I think that you all have filled out a hundreds chart in the past. Now, this will go all the way up to 120. So I'm just going to talk to you about this, and we'll talk about some of the patterns that you start to see when you fill out your chart. So, of course, when we start writing on our chart, we're going to start on the left-hand side in the corners in the first box, and we're going to put a 1 in that box. Now, these boxes are small, so you do have to make sure, especially when you get down into the double-digit numbers, that you're going to have to write neatly, and you're going to have to write a little bit smaller just to fit it into the box and so that you can read the number well. So go ahead and start filling in your chart like I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm done with my first row. We call that a row that goes straight across. And then we're going to come down to the second row. We're going to start with 11. And again, friends, if you need to pause this video at any time, you can do that too. If you need some time to write your numbers. Okay, I'm done with my second row. I want you to look at the first 2 rows that you've written. Do you see anything about these 2 rows that has some sort of a pattern in it? Do you see how in each of the columns, this column, this is a row that goes straight across. This is a column that goes straight down like this. So if you look in each column, you will see that we have a 1 and an 11. And the second column is a 2 and a 12, 3, 13, 4, 14, 5, 15. Do you see how in the ones place, the number is always going to be the same in the ones place in each of the columns? Do you see that? Let's do a third row, and let's see if that stays true as we write our numbers on the third row. Okay, do you see how my numbers in each of the columns, the number that is in the ones place is going to stay the same? So as you're writing your hundreds chart, you can actually, now that you've noticed this pattern that is going along in each of the columns, instead of filling out every row, you could decide, oh, I'm going to fill out, say, this column of 5s in the ones place, and I could just come straight down and write 35, and then 10 more would be 45, then come down 10 more would be 55. Do you see how the ones are staying the same? This is the 5s column, and then the 10s go up by 10 each time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it would be 65, 75, 85, 95, 105. And when we get to 100, that's how we would write 105 that would come after that. And then what do you think would come on the very bottom right here in that column? We still have that 5 in the ones place. We know that's going to be the same. So here is the row above this. There's a 0 in the tens place. If we add on a 10, that's going to be 1. And then we have our 100. It's going to stay the same, so that would be 115. Okay, so you could choose to write your numbers in the traditional way of going row by row, or when you start recognizing those patterns in the columns, you can come down each column and write in the numbers for that column if you would like to. Just keep in mind that when you move down a row each time on the column, that your tens place is going to go up 1 number, but your one place number is going to stay the same. Do you see how I've done that? Okay, so take a few minutes, friends. Go ahead and fill in your 120 chart all the way till you get to the end. Okay, friends, so now we're done filling out our whole 120 chart. So here is what mine looks like. And I wanted to point out something to you about when you get down to this row right here is when you start with 91. So when you get to 100 is at the end of that row, then when you go to the next row, make sure that your row looks like this. When you go to 101, it's going to be a 1 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens place, 1 in the ones place. So 101, 102, all the way till you get to the end of this row. This is 110. There's a 1 in the 100s place, or in the hundreds place, a 1 in the tens place, a 0 in the ones place. So make sure your 110 looks like that. Then when you come to the last row, it's going to be 111 to 120. So 111 looks like this. There's a 1 in the hundreds place, a 1 in the tens place, a 1 in the ones place. 112, 113, 114, 115, 16, all the way to 120 looks like this. 1 in the hundreds place, 2 in the tens place, 0 in the ones place. Okay, friends, just look over your chart and make sure it's written out nice and neat. And then the next direction is in our plans that you're going to follow along with me. And I'm going to give you some mystery numbers. I'm going to give you some clues about a number on your chart. And I'm going to give you a direction of how to show me where that number is. I might say, take out your blue crayon and circle this number, or take out your red crayon and underline this number. So follow along in your plans with the next directions and see if you can find all of the mystery numbers.